I'm Rosa, and with me today is Patsy, and today is Friday, June 10th, and this is the final edition of Inside LHS for the school year.
We have with us a special guest this week, LHS Headmaster Mr. Fiato, and he's here to talk about how things have gone this year and what we can look forward to next year.
We'll be talking to him in just a minute, but first we have two items in the news this week.
Final exams started yesterday and continue today next Monday, June 13th, and Tuesday, June 14th. Makeup exams will take place next Wednesday, June 15th, and the last day of school is next Thursday, June 16th. The other news story is in Lancers sports. On Monday, the Lancers varsity baseball team took on Central Catholic High School here at home. And Monday night showdown, the Lancers found a way to stump the Raiders 4-2 in the second round of the MIAA playoffs. The Lancers had a first-round bye due to an impressive season. They then took on Bill Ricca on Wednesday night, beating them 13-5, and to move the Lancers into the state tournament. The next team they face is a number 1 seed strong team from Lincoln Sudbury. When and where that game will be played is yet to be announced, so check out the MIA website for details. Good luck, Lancers.
And that's it for the news this week. As we mentioned at the top of the news, we have LHS Headmaster Mr. Fiato as our guest this week. Hi, Mr. Fiato.
Thank you for having me on the show.
We have a few questions for you and some questions from students.
Okay.
We are almost at the end of the year. Looking back, how did the year go?
Well, considering there's been significant changes at the high school and we're in the process of some more changes happening for next year, I thought the year has gone fairly well. Our students and staff, as true Lancers, always rise to the occasion and come through in the clutch when things are sometimes difficult or challenging. But in the long run, I think it will be a great. We continue to make great progress here at the Lawrence High School campus.
And one of the big changes this year was an early start to the school day. How did that work out?
I think an early start to the school day helps the students a lot because that allows them to actually leave a little earlier. And a lot of our students have sports or work or responsibilities at home, and we wanted to make sure that they're able to fulfill those responsibilities with an earlier end time. So the earlier start time helped us get an earlier end time. I will say that we do need to do some work, making sure that all students come to class on time and come to school on time. And even though we are started a little earlier, it's still a little later than most area high schools. So it's our expectation that everyone can be at school on time and enjoy all the things that they can acquire here and benefit from at Lawrence High School. But overall, I thought it has gone very, very, very smoothly.
Another reason we wanted to talk to you today was to find out a little bit about what is happening on campus next school year. First, tell us when the new school year will begin and hours of the school day.
So what we're going to be doing is posting all of the calendars for the school year online. Our ninth graders will be starting a few days earlier to get some additional information about Lawrence High School and give them some opportunities to transition into Lawrence High School before the upperclassmen come in. The school day will remain the same hours, 8 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. We want to make sure that all students are on time and come to school before 8 o'clock and so they could be seated in their classrooms at 8 o'clock to start the day.
So what are some of the changes happening next year?
So there's a lot of changes happening next year, and the biggest change will be the implementation of a 10th grade academy. So we started a 9th grade academy this year, and those students will be transitioning to a 10th grade academy. With the 10th grade academy, we hope to continue with providing students with a really strong education through a rigorous curriculum, great electives, and continue with an enriching array of elective classes so students feel excited about being in school, and consistency across the campus to ensure that students are getting a consistent and cohesive educational experience in the 10th grade.
Starlin, who is a 10th grader, since schools are being combined, what will the uniforms look like?
So we'll continue with the same uniforms as we move forward. What we didn't want to do is start changing and adding more uniforms and putting more pressure on people to go out and buy different colors. So for at least one more year, we'll remain the same because the schools are still going to maintain their individual identity, although we are combining schools.
So will there be more courses for students to take in electives or academics, and how will that work, and what's your vision for that?
So in reality, all of the courses that are being offered will continue to be offered. So we're not really increasing the amount of courses, what we are doing is allowing students from across the campus to have access to those courses. So if, for example, you guys are in MST, you wouldn't be able to take some of the classes that are offered in PFA because your schedule doesn't allow it. Moving forward, you'll have opportunities to take classes in other schools. So if you wanted to take a dance class and it wasn't available last year, it'll be available in the future now because we're going to be allowing students and offering electives across the entire campus.
How will the buildings be organized? What grades are going to go where? And how did you decide on the groupings of school? This year, MST and PFA were grouped together. Next year, it's PFA and LTD. Why the change?
So ninth grade academy will continue to be separate, housed separately. We want to provide our ninth graders with a unique experience to build those relationships with their teachers and understand the importance of transitioning from 8th grade to ninth grade in their own environment. Although we will have mentoring programs for them so that they can interact with upperclassmen, we feel it's important that ninth graders see what successful 11th and 12th graders are doing. So I'm going to be relying on the 11th and 12th graders to model good behavior, citizenship, Lancer pride, and academics to our ninth graders. For our 10th graders, they'll also have a separate location in conjunction with HHS, and our upper schools will be combined, so PFA and HLD and MST and BMF will be combined. The reason we're doing that is we feel that the MST and BMF combination makes a lot of sense. We have the STEM with MST, business with BMF, and we combine those to really provide a strong array of courses and electives that seem to be more aligned. And HLD and PFA have it's the same kind of thematic organization where we have humanities and performing and fine arts blending together to really amplify the work that's happening with the electives. And INT will continue to be a school for the upper grades, and the International High School Services are newcomers. We also have a program called Enlace, which services newcomers from grades 9 and 10, and we'll continue to add a grade to the Abbott Lawrence Academy, which started off in grade 9, and we'll continue to grade 10, which is our accelerated high school program.
So why are these changes taking place, and how are these changes going to help us as students?
So the majority of all of the changes that are taking place are to create a unified campus experience while at the same time providing a diverse opportunity for students to engage in appropriate programming for their grade level. So if we can leverage all of our resources and really understand what does it take to transition a student successfully from 8th grade to 9th grade, and really do a good job making sure that our students stay in school, they understand how to be successful in high school, they understand what it takes to get that college-ready success. What we found in the past is many of our 9th graders were being held back. A lot of our 9th graders were failing. A lot of our 9th graders over the past few years have not had that type of success that we would like to see. So with the 9th grade academy and the 10th grade academy, we want to put our efforts into making sure that we promote and we build on the successes of a small school feel with a focus on each grade level. With the upper school experience, we want to provide our upper school students with more flexibility in their scheduling and opportunities to interact with other students on the campus. If we're really serious about preparing upper school students and all our students for college, most colleges are not confined to one building. Most colleges have opportunities to take classes all over the campus, small campuses and large campuses across the university and college space, right? So we want to make sure that you guys build in those skills as well, going from class to class, figuring out how to manage your time, and also have access to more diverse range of courses that are oftentimes not available in the small schools. The small schools have been great in terms of building culture and building positive school climate. You get to know people really well in the small school environment. We want to still maintain that, and we will do that through the advisory programs. I know over the years, advisory's had some success in some areas and some areas not so much. What we want to do is make sure that your advisories are very instrumental in creating a personalized culture. You'll get to know your teacher really well. You'll get to know your students really well. You'll get to know and understand the college and career readiness that we're looking to build on, so that you guys walk out of the 11th and 12th graders will walk out of high school with an actual action plan so that they can be ready to go on to the next phase of their career.
Tatiana asked, will there be any privileges for upperclassmen?
We would like to engage in those discussions. So we want to make sure that the upperclassmen have that unique experience. If you earn the right to have privileges, I am totally in favor of giving you those privileges. I'm not really sure what privileges yet, or how we would do that, or how we would decide that. Does that mean uniform-free days? Does that mean able to have a study hall or independent study? Does that mean you'll have an internship program and you can leave the campus? I think the answer is yes, but we have to negotiate that with the teachers and with the student councils, and I'd love to sit down and have those discussions with you as we start the new year.
And how will academic and elective courses be organized in the schedule, and what about lunches?
So the core academic classes you'll get those core academic classes in the buildings that you're assigned to. So English, math, science, and social studies, you'll pretty much stay in those buildings. But for the elective classes, you'll be able to have access to the electives across the entire campus. As far as lunches, we're going to open up the lunches for the upper and lower calves next year. This year, most of the lunches were for the upper school were in the lower calf, and 9th grade had the upper calf. Next year, we're going to open it up so that all schools will have access to upper and lower calf. We think that'll give students more flexibility to choose where they want to eat their lunch, and it will ease in the line, the duration it takes for students to stand in line, and it cuts in on your actual time to eat. So we think that the lunch schedule is going to be flexible enough to give students more opportunities to get in and out of there and get back to class and be on time.
Since there will be a 9th and 10th grade Avid Academy, will the students still be able to use the Learning Commons and computer labs?
Yes. So the Avid Academy is expanding into in the library, in the Learning Commons, as we call it here at Lawrence High School. But with that expansion, we'll require some discussion around how we will continue to use the library. So the answer is yes. All students will still have access to the Learning Commons /library. The computer labs will remain open for all students before, during, and after school. Teachers will still be able to take their students into the Learning Commons. There will be less space, but I think we can use that space strategically and start looking at ways that other high schools are using their Learning Commons space. Some schools are using it for maker spaces, digital resources, and looking at how we could increase the technology in the library so that when students go in to do research, they have more access to laptops, they have more access to digital materials, and that seems to be the direction that many schools are headed. We'll still keep our print materials, but I think we need to increase the digital materials so that when students need to do research, they have more opportunities to go online and do that research a lot more efficiently as we move into the 21st century, and that seems to be where we're headed with Learning Commons and libraries in high schools across the country.
And is there going to be consistency in classes and the workload across all 5 schools, especially for seniors? Like this year, HLD seniors, they finished their work early, and the other seniors went until the 3rd week in May. Is that going to be consistent, or will it depend on what school you're in?
I think it'll be more consistent now because it's as we start to integrate and combine schools, we're going to need to work as a campus to be more consistent. With an individual high school and autonomous high schools across the campus, schools were able to kind of be more flexible and adapt to working with their leadership teams to create opportunities for students that might be different from school to school. So I do want to be clear, the HLD students did do a capstone project, and they did end their academic year earlier, but they were required to do service learning component and go to an internship site and do research, and also they did community service during that time. We'll be talking about how we can continue that, but it'll probably be on a more consistent scale and a more limited scale, where students would have to earn that right to go do that, submit proposals, and provide evidence that they're going to do action research and going to create a community service kind of opportunity for themselves. And that's something that's a great question, and we want to continue to keep those good things and not kind of get rid of them because we're combining, but we also need to be thoughtful about how we can get more students involved in those type of activities across the campus.
When do you envision all of these changes being completed? When is Lawrence High School going to be a complete Lawrence High School?
I'd say that it's still a work in progress. I'd like to give you a timeline, but I don't think it would be realistic for me to say by this date all changes will be finalized. I think it's always going to be a work in progress. there's probably a couple of, 1 or 2 more years of movement, and I hope that we get to a point where we can be stable and not have classes and students have to be shifted around, because that's really not the intention. But we're trying to do this as gradually as possible so that we can affect the least amount of people over the course of each year. But at the end of the day, I do believe the changes will be yielding great benefits for both the staff, students, and the community as a whole as we work on the redesign here at Lawrence High School.
And where can students and parents find more information about the changes taking place?
So before the end of the school year, we'll provide an update, and we'll send that letter home to parents on some of the changes that are happening. We did do a press release in January, gave that out to parents and students. We'll do an end of the year summary of the changes, and we'll continue to provide information on our website over the summer. And as we head into the opening of school, we'll send out another announcement to the families around the start of school, school calendars, and some of the changes. We do for those of you watching at home, we want to make sure that parents get involved in the school, families get involved in the school. We have PTOs, we have many different activities at night, parent night, celebrations, student exhibitions, many different opportunities for parents to get involved, so feel free to contact me or any of the school principals to learn more about how you can get involved here at Lawrence High School.
One last question. What did you think about this year's graduation? This is the first time that graduation was intentionally and planned to be held on a Friday night.
I couldn't ask for a better experience on Friday night's graduation. We were very worried about the weather. The morning and the afternoon looked a little cloudy, and we thought that we were going to be rained upon. We weren't really sure. Around 4 o'clock, the sun broke out, and we started to see the clouds go away, and it opened up just in time for our 6 o'clock graduation. We had over 655 Lawrence High School graduates go out into the world on Friday night, and we'll have 100 more graduates over the summer. I think Friday night is a great night to have a graduation, because it gives the families a chance to spend the entire weekend celebrating the successes of their students, and it's a little cooler at night, and it seemed like to be a great environment. I just want to say thanks to all the staff who made that night magical for the entire community. We put a lot of work into making sure graduation ran smoothly, and congratulations to all the seniors that are leaving us. Hopefully those seniors don't forget about us, always remain Lancers, and come back and support the Lawrence High community and the Lawrence community in general.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Mr. Fiato, is there anything else you would like to add?
I wanted to make sure that all the staff and students and those watching and families know that next week we will be having early release days for our students during the final exam week. So starting Monday, we will be having early release days at 11:55. We'll still have late buses available for students, and students will also have opportunity to eat lunch in the cafeteria. This will allow students and staff to prepare the buildings as we close out the year, and also give our students and staff a well-deserved break as they work very hard this year, and we wanted to reward them with that opportunity to have an early release day.
Thank you, Mr. Fiato, for answering the questions. And we're actually going to end the show with some clips from last Friday's graduation. And thank you, Mr. Fiato, for coming here and answer these questions. And we hope to invite you back next year. This is it for Inside LHS today and for the rest of the school year. We hope everybody has a good summer and good luck on your finals. Bye everybody.
graduating class. You are now graduated. You may throw your caps.